I've got a letter right here. I've got a letter right here from a young man who is recovering from PIED. He's just a couple months into that recovery journey, and he's struggling to know how to navigate relationships and dating during that time. This is a situation that so many men I work with find themselves in at some point, so it's a great topic to address today. Anon writes, "Greetings, Coach Church. It's odd that I'm finally working up the courage to reach out, as I've been a daily viewer of your YouTube videos, from the recent live Q&A reboot sessions all the way back to your earliest uploads. In a way, I feel like I know you and all the other brave men in the community because we share a similar experience or struggle. None of us are alone. You're absolutely in good company. If you don't have access to a community like that, yeah, it can certainly feel like you're alone because most people are not going to be talking about these kinds of issues with their friends. And the statistics say that anywhere between 15%, 35% of young men are dealing with erectile issues, most due to their porn use. And so it's very likely that people you know are also going through this, but you probably would never know it unless you're the one to bring it up first in conversation. Then you might inspire others to be brave enough to say, hey, actually, I've experienced that too, or, oh, maybe that's what's going on with me because I have trouble sometimes as well. So if you want more of those conversations in your real life, often you have to be the one to step up and have the courage to be open and honest with the people close to you. And trust me, the world needs more of that. I started my porn addiction basically like every other naive preteen boy that gets featured in your videos, thinking because everyone's doing it, that must make it normal. My use of porn was very far from normal in hindsight. Get out of here. My use of porn was very far from normal in hindsight. While my friends were building their healthy sex lives, I was content with being a loner for years and years when it came to romantic partners. The added pressure of being considered an attractive and social person didn't make it easier and just exasperated thoughts of something is wrong with me and only me. Man, the social pressure, the perceived, expectations of your peer group, the awkwardness, not knowing how to have a healthy relationship with your own sexuality and how to express that and pursue that in a way that's both respectful of others and effective is very difficult. I don't miss being a teenager and being in your shoes. But if there's one big honking slab of advice I'd give to guys your age in that situation, it's that there is no timeline or race that you have to compete in or to impress anybody else or meet anybody's standard of when you should be doing what. The sooner you can let go of all that and just accept who you are and where you are at whatever age you are, the more you can enjoy your life, the more you can enjoy your relationships. And ironically, the more intimacy and sexual experiences you'll probably end up having. Because if you're trying to pretend to be something you're not, most people are able to tell. Most people get a vibe that something is off, that there's something you're hiding. Women especially can be very intuitive in that respect. Whereas if you're just confident enough to embrace who you are and the position that you are in at this moment, that's an attractive quality, much more so than, oh yeah, I've been with however many women before. If you ask most women, they won't think that that in itself is an attractive quality. And having that courage to just embrace who you are, that's what's going to draw people to you, especially the kind of women who are actually going to be of quality and improve your life, not only offer sexual experiences, but improve your life and make your life a better place to live in and inspire you to be a better person. At 16, I had my first real sexual experience, and that's when I realized something was really wrong. In the midst of having sex, I lost my erection rather quickly, and I began to think it was simply something wrong with me, as my guy friends and I would huddle around and share our sexual experiences like any other teenage boy group. That really affected my self-esteem, even to this day. I went years without knowing what was wrong with me. Been there. That's why I do what I do, is because when people are searching for answers, I want them to find something like the resource that I provide that's actually able to give them some clarity and some direction, unlike what I found for years as I was struggling. Even though I did have other sexual experiences and did have successful sex, it was through the use of pills or medications, because at that time, being an ill-informed and naive teen, this was the cure in my head. I know now from your videos that this is simply the physiological band-aid and not the root of the problem. I've been porn-free for 42 days at this point, possibly more, but I started really keeping track at that point. And the last time I had an orgasm was 33 days ago with a partner. Since I've started this journey, I've had a few sexual encounters that did not go to plan, to say the least. Yeah, about the Viagra or ED drugs, as I mentioned in one of my last Coach Church videos, it's not a real solution if what's ailing you is porn-induced erectile dysfunction. It can help in the moment if you have mild to moderate PIED or you've already done some recovery, but it's not something to rely on in the long term. You can easily become psychologically dependent on it, and it can actually delay the neurological process of recovering your sensitivity and fully recovering from the PIED. Much like you broke your ankle, and instead of putting it in a cast and resting it and then gently rehabbing it, you just pop some painkillers and go on a run on that broken ankle. It's not going to help the long-term healing process. I know that I'm still in my reboot phase, but in my personal situation, I do get the chance to rewire as well. Being considered a social person inevitably leads to me being in sexual situations with women, or at least being given the opportunity, but I feel like it may be too early. Hey, of all the problems to have, that's not one of the worst. I know it might put you in uncomfortable situations now, but you'll be grateful for that once you're more confident in your sexuality and able to enjoy those experiences. This has me torn in a very deep way. I know from your videos you're a huge advocate for being honest and open with partners about PIED, but wouldn't that have to be serious partners that you intend on building a relationship with? I feel like dumping my many years of trauma on a new or fleeting partner is just unfair and a bit daunting to say the least. In your experience, do you recommend avoiding those fleeting one-night stand type relationships, or at least during the first stages of rebooting? Because I feel like they just take a big dig at my self-confidence at this early stage. I've already written a lot, and I know I should be paying for your time and advice. I just saw your email address in a comment you posted and thought I'd finally reach out. You can certainly pay for my time and advice. I offer coaching options as well as programs. You can find all that in the link tree down below in the description. But if you just happen to email me and you have a compelling story, I might respond to it in a video like this one. And there's a lot of middle ground between lying to a partner, even if it's a casual short-term partner, or hiding what you're actually thinking and feeling from that partner, and dumping all of your emotional trauma from years onto that person. There's a lot of middle ground, and in that middle ground is an approach to that conversation that's probably going to be very productive. So in that situation, I might say something like, hey, before we get too much farther, this is after we've already made out, perhaps, maybe it's first, second, or third date, and it seems like she wants things to go further. I would interrupt and say, hey, before we go too much farther, I should tell you that I can take some time to warm up to a new partner and really get comfortable with them enough to get and stay aroused and really enjoy a sexual experience with them. And I think that's largely because in the past, I have actually had a lot of negative and, somewhat traumatic sexual experiences. And so it just takes me a little time to get comfortable and get to trust someone enough to enjoy that with that person. And I just wanted to let you know, because if that happens, if it seems like I'm going slow or I'm not reacting how you expect, it's not because I'm not into you, because I definitely am. It's just I may need a little bit more time to warm up than some other guys. And if you tell her that, 99% of the time, she's going to be very appreciative that you were honest with her. She's going to be patient and supportive, even if it is someone you don't know very well. And even if it's not going to turn into a real relationship. But you never know. Sometimes casual things turn into real relationships. And the way that happens is usually that someone has the courage to be real and to show them that you're not just a random F-boy, that you have depth to you and that you have the ability to be courageous enough to be open and honest. And that, as I said before, is an attractive quality and might bring you two closer together in a more long-term way, or it might just allow you the time, the few hours that it might take to really build comfort with that person that night and then have an enjoyable sexual experience. And after saying that, you can, of course, say, if you want to know more, you can ask me questions. And that gives her the opportunity to decide how much she wants to know. And since she's the one asking questions, she's the one deciding if she wants to know more, you're not dumping anything on her. And if you approach this with an air of I'm a work in progress. I have my wounds. I have my past, but I'm moving forward and I'm growing beyond that. And I recognize who I am and what my needs are now. I'm not asking you to take care of me or to tell me what to do. I'm just being open with you about who I am and where I am in my life right now. That is a very attractive place to be working from, because we're all human, we're all works in progress. And having the courage to admit that you're not perfect, admit that you have flaws, that you have challenges you're trying to overcome, that is something that people respect. Thank you for all that you've done and continue to do for the thousands or even millions of us out in the world. You have no idea how far you've reached in the lives you've touched. I have no problem with you sharing this. If you refer to me as an anon, like your other videos, your work is touching and improving many lives. And despite the overall negative tone of this email, I am definitely seeing progress at day 43. It's really just the anxiety of the unknown and past failed attempts. Anyone that's at a similar stage as me should know there's definitely hope. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing this story with us and giving me the opportunity to address these questions for everyone out there who is having these questions go through their head, but hasn't gathered up the courage yet to reach out and seek guidance. And there's also an older video I made called How to Overcome Sexual Performance Anxiety. You can check that one out on my website. I've got a new website. It's in the link tree down below. Check it out. And you can see all my old work there, all my other videos, and also find ways to get access to complete programs that can guide you through the process of recovering from PIED and/or a porn addiction. Access group support, where you can join a team of like-minded men who are trying to recover from these types of problems, and work with me one-on-one. So, everyone out there, have a one. Hey, hold up. Future Noah here, dropping in because before I release this video, today's Anon sent me another update. He said, "Hey coach, life had a way of forcing my hand recently, and I'm beginning to think it was long overdue and a good thing in the end. I know you said you'd release a video response, but in the last few days I took the leap of faith, finally opening up to someone special about my PIED struggles. A slightly censored version at that. And like you've said time and time again, the response was way better than I anticipated. She seemed very understanding and comforting." Egg, imagine that, man. Congratulations. And you didn't even need the extra encouragement that I was giving you earlier in this video, because you didn't see it or hear it until after you talked to your special person. So other rebooters who are watching this, take note. Of course, the years of battling with this still brings doubts as I overthink whether she can or will really understand, but it does feel good to finally stop hiding and finding excuses to never seek anything real after all this time. Well, success, whatever that means to you, is not guaranteed, even if you're courageous, even if you try your best, even if you're vulnerable and open and honest. But failure is pretty much guaranteed if you don't try. This was a really big step for me, even if she decides not having sex right now is a deal breaker for her. It felt right and a little strange being honest and vulnerable for the first time in almost 12 years. 11 or 12 years of avoiding those difficult conversations and feeling like I was living two separate lives. I know that 11 or 12 years is not going to be fixed in one night, but I feel proud that I can say that I'm finally trying to change for the better and actually believe it. Well, new action that you haven't taken before, is actually what gets you starting to believe that change is happening, that you are changing, that you're growing into a new person that you like a little better than the person you were before. And if you're like me, I don't regret risks that I took that were calculated risks that felt worthwhile, that I was courageous in pursuing and trying my best to make happen, no matter the outcome. Even if they turned out terribly, I wouldn't regret taking that chance. The regret that really sticks with me for a long time is the regret of opportunities missed. Opportunities that I knew I wanted to take and should take, but didn't take out of fear or anxiety. Not wanting to stretch my comfort zone. If that one doesn't work out, this relationship, at least you'll have the peace of mind of knowing you showed up, you were completely yourself, you did your best. And that's a peace of mind that you can take into your future relationships, and not a sign that you messed up by doing so, even if this one doesn't work out. But I'm looking forward to hearing more, and I'm optimistic about what you two can become together. I hope I'm not bombarding you with these emails. Just wanted to send in a little update. Day 47, going very strong with no intention of ever turning back and feeling more hopeful with each step. Thank you again for your guidance. Thank you for the update. All right. Have a wonderful porn. Hey, thank you for watching that video all the way through. That tells me that not only are you interested in learning as much as you can about how to succeed in this journey, but you're committed to doing what it takes to get there for yourself. So right now I'm speaking directly to you because I'm starting something new. I call this the Reboot Academy. It combines everything that I have seen to be effective in maximizing success for people who have been struggling, often for years or even decades, to maintain sobriety from porn. If this describes you and you're ready for change, you're sick and tired of being in that vicious cycle, then here's what to do. Go down to the description below this video, open my link tree, tap the first link, and then open the video about the 3 critical mistakes that I see people making. Watch this video in its entirety, and afterwards you'll get a chance to schedule a free call with me so we can discuss your personal situation and whether what I have to offer is right for you. So, maybe I'll talk with you soon. Have a wonderful porn-free day.